Alrighty, we are going to be talking today about pronoun-verb agreement. Now, what does that even mean? I've got a picture here with two men who are agreeing. We know that because they're shaking hands. A pronoun, as you remember, replaces a noun. It's words like she, he, they, it, or we. A lot of times a pronoun is going to be the subject of the sentence. It's whoever is doing the action or whoever is the main, most important part of the sentence. The verb is the action or the linking word in the sentence, and that's usually what starts the predicate. If you remember from the beginning of the year, our subject is usually in the beginning of the sentence, and our predicate is usually at the end, starting with our action word. So the two parts of the sentence must agree. If the subject is singular, the predicate must be singular. If the subject is plural, the predicate must be plural. So to do this, we have to add an S to the verb to make sure that it agrees with the pronoun sometimes. So for example, the first sentence says, the dog chases the ball. So as you can see, when we have one dog, we need to put the S on our verb here, chases. The dog chases the ball. When we have more than one dog, the dogs chase the ball. The way that I try and remember this is that you can only have an S on either the noun or the verb. It can't be the dogs chases the ball. That's too many S's. You can only have one on each. Now, we don't always have to use the nouns, though, the dog. You can replace it with a pronoun. But just like with nouns, you have to make sure that the pronoun agrees with the verb. So instead of saying, my dog sits, you could say, it sits. If there's more than one dog, my dogs, you could say they sit. So you still have to make sure that the subject and the verb agree, even if it's a pronoun instead of a noun. We usually add an S to most of the verbs after he, she, or it. Okay, those three words, he, she, or it, you're going to add an S usually. We do not add an S for pronouns like I, we, they, and you. So let's practice. The first sentence says, she blanks softball with some of her friends. Your choices are play or plays. If I don't remember, I could go back to the last slide and see that she needs to have an S added to it. So now I know that it's going to be she plays. The next sentence says, I blank to read books with dragons in them. I could plug them both in and see which one sounds better. I love to read books with dragons in them. Or I loves to read books with dragons in them. Or I could go back and see that with the verb I, or with the pronoun I, you do not need to add an S to the verb. So it would be I love to read books. And then our last one says, they blank that movie every Friday. They watch or they watches. I know that the pronoun they does not need an S. So it would be they watch that movie every Friday. So for your secret pom-pom message today, I would like you to please show Miss French or go up to Miss French and tell her which three pronouns you need to add an S to the verb that follows these three pronouns. Go say the three pronouns to Miss French that you need to add an S for.